live. That's your cue, everyone. Go nuts. That's my what was the guy from American Idol? Um that was
Ryan
partners with
Seacrest?
no, the guy that was partners with Ryan Seacrest during the first season of
Ooh,
American Idol.
I don't know if I was a viewer of that season.
Well, he had this famous
Should
moment where he
should I
panicked
look it up?
because yeah, you should look it up. Yeah.
See, this is the chaotic energy you're looking for.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is Brian Boldinger, and that's a former linebacker or something, right?
You got the Brian part right.
Brian something.
Oh man, what a name!
Baldinger is pretty close.
Brian
So,
Brian Dunkelman.
Dunkelman. So he
American
so
Indian actor.
he's live on the show on the like one of the very first episodes, and he like panicked because the studio audience didn't go nuts right away. And so he goes, "And we're live. That's your cue, everyone." And then everyone like starts shouting. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to check in the audio. I do some light edits after the fact so that folks don't have to see every single little thing. But I think also the screen should be much larger than it was in the video previously.
Mm-hmm.
But I can also zoom in quite a bit. I didn't do this with Michelle, but you
Right.
see I can zoom all the way in. We can see our
There
little
you are.
guy right up close. That's as close as we can get. Actually, that doesn't look so bad.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, this doesn't look so bad. I think I can handle being nice and zoomed in like that. I hope it's nice for everyone. You can see a lot
That's nice.
more of my beefy Minotaur. So we have,
Travis,
um,
do you want to give me the 30-second summary of what's going on with this game?
yes, yes. Okay, so this is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. It is a turn-based RPG. And so what we're trying to do is get from the top of the dungeon, which is dungeon 1, and make it all the way to the bottom of the dungeon and find the Orb of Zot. And once we've found the Orb of Zot, we can try to escape from the dungeon and win the game. But it's a permadeath game, and that means that you don't like save or anything. You just die. As soon as you die, it starts over, and that's important for you to know, Baker. Welcome to the show,
Yeah.
first of all. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I did listen to the first 3 minutes of the previous episode, so I do know that when you die,
When I die, we're gonna be done.
you're basically going to cut me off. How long did you make it last time?
So we went for about an hour and a half, and I did not die. So I'm still
Okay.
alive. This is now episode 2 of the same character, and we're on dungeon 9, which we're the ninth floor down. That doesn't mean we're near the bottom. We're actually quite far from the bottom still, and we chose a new god to worship. His name is Akawaru. He's the god of war. I can bring up information about him, I think. There he is. He's War Master Akawaru. And he does nice little things for us. He can grant us temporary skills. And we have our beefy boy, Delmundo 2. His name is Delmundo 2 because I can't figure out how to change his name anymore. I changed it once from Delmundo 1 to Delmundo 2, but I can't remember how to how to change his name. So that's over. We have this really nice axe, which sets people on fire, but it has a chance to corrode us, and it
Mm-hmm.
helps us resist poison, which is nice, and it helps us resist negative energy, but it makes us dumb, and so we only have 2 intelligence. And we have this ring of evasion, which helps us avoid getting hit, and this ring of poison resistance, which I think is unnecessary because you only can get 1 pip of resist poison. So I need to maybe switch that. And I have this jaunty hat that I paid for last time. I paid a bunch of money to buy this hat, so it's really nice. And basically, the game works in as turn-based, so it won't move until I move. If we sit here and are chatting and I lose track of playing the game, that's okay because the game isn't like moving around without me moving. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's if we get going and we're listening to you talk about your thing and I totally forget that I'm playing this game, which is entirely possible and happened for many, many minutes in the episode 1, um, then that's fine. That's totally allowed. Because it's really
Okay.
just an excuse to hang out with you, man.
Right.
So, and also, I think it's been months since we've been on the phone, even.
Yeah, that is true.
Why is that? What do we do? What do we do wrong?
Uh, yeah. Had had two
Had
children
lives,
each.
2 children
Yeah.
each will do that too. Yes,
Yeah.
that's difficult. Um, okay, so the main premise of the show, though, is for us to get the chance to talk about your thing. And as a reminder to everybody in our fabulous audience, what I mean by thing is not the sexual term. It's what I mean by that is the thing that you always wish you could rant about and talk about, but you never get the chance to because you don't know anybody that will talk to you about it, or you're afraid to talk to people about it because you're afraid they won't want to hear about it. But guess what? I do want to hear about it. I've practiced that line, I think, in my head a bunch of times.
Yeah,
And
it's not right.
and the thing is, Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup is my thing. So I would love to talk to anybody about this all the time, but it is far too nerdy and weird for that to be something that I should ever do. And so now I've decided to force my friends to watch me play it via trying to learn more about them and the thing that makes them excited. And I think if I'm doing the thing I'm excited about, I think it's easy for me to get excited about the thing that you're excited about. And I like one last point, and I think I made this point last episode as well, but I find small talk to be horrible. The little bit of small talk we just did about trying to figure out when the last time we talked, it just is, or like when you run into somebody in the elevator and they're asking you how your weekend was, and you say good, and then how was your weekend, and they say good. That doesn't feel good to me. I don't like it. But I do like to hear people talk about stuff that they are passionate about. And so that's what I wanted to do more of, and I wanted to skip straight to that. And so I reached out to a bunch of friends that I haven't talked to for a while to try to get the chance to catch up about stuff that really is not important. That's the wrong term for it, but valuable or deep. And deep is the wrong term too. Some people like to say, "Oh, I like to get deep," right? Like I like to get deep with my friends. No, I don't want that either. They're not talking about deep. I'm not trying to hear your feelings. Although I wouldn't mind if you wanted this to be a therapy session. But I don't have a degree in psychology, right? I think my degree's in math. Last time we tested whether or not I knew any math, and I did pretty poorly. So that's that. Does that all make sense to you?
That makes sense.
I just did the thing where I forgot I was playing the game for a long time too. So
yeah, play on. Don't.
If you have questions about the game, always stop me. See, we're already in trouble.
Okay. Well, and if you need me to pause at any point to concentrate on some gameplay, you can stop me as well.
I know we're gonna beefy these guys.
Do you need it? Do you need a moment to handle this?
This is fine. I got this in control. There's this guy in white. It's not a white dude. Like it's not just being attacked by white. He's invisible. But because what it's indicating is where we last saw him. Oh, he's dead now, though, so we're good.
Okay.
I slashed something, and I burned something, and it's dead. So I gave you the prompt ahead of time. We were debating it backstage in the green room.
Yeah.
But now I want to hear what you have in mind. What do you think? What's like a topic that you have been itching to talk about?
Well, I think I'm going to start by going on a tangent and not actually answering your question.
That sounds fine.
By just to preface to the listeners what I'm not going to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is I guess if I had a thing, just where I'm at in life right now. I'm a high school teacher and soccer coach, and I could probably absolutely regale you with tales of the classroom or critiques of the American educational system or I don't know, any number of things, but I think I don't want to do that, largely because I don't want to get myself in trouble
right
out on the internet that I regret.
Yep.
So if there's ever asides or you want to ask me about something, and I probably
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about those things. I think I totally buy and agree with that. But before we leave them, I wonder. I want to ask Meta about those things. Are those your things? Because you're in that community, right? And
Right.
it's part of your life, so you get the chance to talk about that with Emily whenever you want, or with your coworkers often whenever you want
Yeah.
too.
Although,
You just don't get
one
to do
might,
it enough for your
one
taste,
might
because it.
suspect that your wife wants to hear all the stories of your day, but she does not always want to do that.
Right, that's fair.
So I did kind of think of that, probably especially the coaching thing.
Yeah.
And I probably, there's a world, maybe in a future episode, I talk about the life of the high school coach, which definitely has its interesting and strange moments.
I've asked you tons of questions about that in the past too, and I would absolutely listen to it for hours.
Well, maybe next
So
time,
yeah,
who
once
knows?
I'm
Maybe
once I'm
we
famous enough that it's worth it to you.
maybe we end up there somehow. Um, yeah, and but I mean I do think it's in a weird way it's my thing in the sense that um uh not to complain, but all our jobs have their ups and downs, but
Yeah.
um it certainly just kind of like rules my life, and I feel like I'm during this time of the year I'm never really like off the clock. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it can be a struggle sometimes for me to come up with some other passion or
Oh,
whatnot.
that's a good point. Like, you just you can't get it out of your head right now, so it's hard
I
not
mean,
to talk about it.
I could probably do a 2 hour lecture on the importance of the Haitian Revolution. It might really square me away for tomorrow's teaching and
Yeah,
all that. But,
as practice.
which I'll say is a very important movement in history, but probably not also not going to be the thing tonight, unless we end up in some weird
Oh no.
circle here. Uh, what's happening?
Okay, well, this dude's way too powerful for us, because this redness around him means he's bad news. However, this is also. Oh, no, I don't know. See, so I was going to say, however, I do have Aguaru's granting of some light powers, and that can be valuable. But another reason that I have you here is to make me slow down and think through, like, what's the right thing to do here. And
Yeah.
sometimes I would just run right in and fight this guy, but then our conversation would be over, and that would suck. Because if I do that, then yeah, we're for sure gonna have to say goodbye for the day. Okay, so this bullfrog just managed to hurt itself by walking up to us and getting in these scalding hot steam. But I'm gonna step back out of the steam, that's for sure. Okay, and then I'm not gonna teleport. That's not necessary. It's a little too much at this moment. Might. I think I'll just preemptively hero. Yep, and we're gonna smoke these dudes. Okay. This is an unusually bad idea, Baker. Nope, I got it under control. I smoked him.
Well done.
Oh my god, I killed all those dudes. I am being way too cautious. But it's because I do not want this conversation to end before it even starts. Oh my god. But I was way too powerful, those dudes. And but the red is supposed to mean that it's a dangerous character, but I smoked that guy because Akuaru gave us the hero power. So
Well, I suppose that bodes well.
But were you stressed? Did
Me?
you understand what happened? Yeah.
I'm following along to some degree.
Okay. I only got hit just a little bit. See,
Yeah, I mean, you had me a little bit worried. Just
I was worried, but
I could, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So none of those things.
Okay, and then the other thing I was going to do to dance around, actually delving into the topic, was I was kind of interested in, because I feel like I would have predictions of, or kind of normal things that I would, tend to gravitate towards
Yeah.
for like my thing. And I was kind of interested in what you hypothesized I might wind up talking about,
Okay.
if I may ask.
Yeah, yeah. The number one thing on my list was Michigan State football recruiting.
Yeah. So
Was that on your list? Was that on your short list, or was that number one?
In stepping outside of myself, I thought of like, well, yeah, of course, like I would have some sort of like Michigan State athletics thing, which um is probably very much a thing for me, as you well know
Again,
from
because I
knowing me
assume you
for a
don't
very
get
long time.
that. Like, see, this is why I think it would be a better thing. It's because I assumed you don't have a bunch of people around you who really want to hear about it, and you probably worry about that a lot. That like, if I bring this up right now,
But
Emily's gonna be like, "Can you stop talking about that?"
yeah, so absolutely true. I think why that has is probably just not the thing is like, um, you know, right now it's not exactly the best time to be a fan of the Michigan State Spartans football team.
I knew that.
Um, I probably don't have a lot to say about recruiting because I would imagine, you know, I'm pretty sure it's just completely in the tubes for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, but it would
I
be
don't know if
awesome to
that.
talk about Mel Tucker and all your feelings on it.
I don't know. I don't know if it'd be awesome to talk about. No.
I don't want it to stress you out. That's for sure. You know, because
No,
if
I don't know. I don't have too much to say about Mel at the moment. I'm glad he's mostly gone.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I just don't want to talk about Michigan State football.
Okay,
And there's uh, if you could probably get me going on a 2 hour rant for like, I'm sure I could easily. Who knows? Maybe we go here, but like I could probably do a nice passionate rant on like the my top five favorite or my ultimate Tom Izzo era starting lineup for
oh,
Michigan State basketball, or the five greatest MSU hoops moments of all time or something like that. Um,
oh, I
but
bet you'd have a bunch of people listening to that. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. That seemed too on the nose. Um, so it's not that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, and here's the
But I was
reality. I'm
close. I
still
was in the right ballpark, is
Yeah,
more than
well, yeah,
anything.
like that's kind of a simple go-to. And I might still kind of go in that route. I'm honestly still kind of in between two things, which
Okay.
I didn't do my full homework in preparation for this assignment. We don't really need to talk
I
about
only
this
give you
on
one piece
air,
of
but
homework. Oh my god.
I know there's some things that went on, some
Yeah.
laptop
Yeah. Exactly.
mishaps, as you know.
Yes.
Um, Going back to the coaching thing, we had a brilliantly scheduled game last night that started at 7:15, an hour away, and I returned to a high school with a group of young gentlemen at like 10:30 p.m. So
Oof.
just some long nights here, but
And I should say that you thankfully um, are you are my bestest friend of all friends, but you are a stand-in for the fact that I had a reschedule of someone, so I give you limited time for prep compared to
yeah,
anybody else will have.
yes,
Yeah.
limited prep time, and I did decide to prioritize the preparations for my classroom
Yeah.
today
Good choice. Good
rather
choice.
than the show. So sorry, show. Um, so I'm gonna lay out my cards here, my
Yeah. Okay.
two things.
Okay. Okay. Fine. We can choose
This is
between them.
not
Yeah.
this is not what Travis wanted. Um,
Maybe it will be going forward, though. You know. Maybe he'll be like, you
Perhaps.
choose two things, and I get to choose the which one of them.
Well, I think we're gonna do that right now.
Okay.
So I think the first thing is the sports related one was I basically just had some super cool stories that I kind of wanted to talk about, um, and that most people really don't want to listen to them, or like I don't know. There's just not really an opening to actually talk about these things. But I was going to detail um, my five favorite or five most memorable and strange um, not like greatest sports trips, but more of the theme of like sports related travel odysseys that
Yes.
led me to strange
Oh
places
my god.
and times. Most of which I think you don't really know about,
Oh
or
my gosh,
maybe
this is very exciting. Okay.
yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't necessarily bore you to death with just a
I would not
rehash
be
of all
bored.
these
Oh,
things.
with things I'd heard before, I think I'd still find ways to ask good questions about it.
I
But
had
you're right.
total faith that you would. Um, the other thing that I was thinking about, and I when you gave me the premise of the show, my mind immediately did go to like something that I had recently kind of been thinking about. And when I tried to bring it up, my lovely wife basically was like, I don't care. Like, go like brush the kids' teeth.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
This is not.
it's time to get them ready for bed. Um, but it seems even in my old age, Travis, you're turning 40 soon, right?
That's right. I'm
Did
turning
I miss
40
it?
a month from today. Yeah,
All right.
no, it's
I
coming
thought
very soon.
I knew it was November. Um,
Oh
yeah. Yeah, well, it's
my gosh.
fun times, let me tell you.
Yes, I'm good at celebrating my birthday.
Um, but wow. Okay, so yeah, in my old age, I lost my train of thought yet again.
Okay,
Um,
so this is what we're going to talk about.
I I feel like even as an old man, I am realizing, surrounded by teenagers in particular, that that the '90s seem to be having a moment again.
Yes. Okay.
Like they're cool again, right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
Um,
I believe
so
so. I work at
so
a music company, so I'm allowed to say these things now.
yeah. Um, and when I think about Travis and our relationship together,
Yeah.
I feel like we have a bond that goes back to like
Yeah.
our days listening to '90s alternative rock.
Yes.
And I the other day my kids expressed some interest in some songs that they heard on we were having a lovely time listening to some Sirius XM lithium station on
Oh
the
man,
way home from school, and
that's the best.
they didn't tell me to change it. And like I'll admit, like while I grew up on a lot of that music, like definitely spent a lot of the last 20 to 25 years just trying to get away from it and not being that interested in much of that genre. But I feel like I'm reaching some nostalgia with it, I suppose. And I was trying to explain to my wife why, like, don't you think this song that we just heard was like the quintessential, '90s alternative rock song? And she just had no time for that conversation. I thought, well, I could see how Travis might.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was tinkering with the idea of I haven't necessarily set all the parameters yet. I thought it might be more fun to do some of it on the fly, and that it doesn't need a lot of parameters. Some of it could just be more, I don't know, some je ne sais quoi
Yeah.
of figuring out like what songs
Yeah.
from like 1995 through 1999
Yeah.
are like the songs that explain not explain that are like the '90s alternative rock genre. So
Totally.
I was just going to
So,
kind of like live do that.
okay.
Um,
I like that. So, I have a recommendation is that we do both, but not and we do the music stuff first. And if we get to some level of completion to that conversation and debate, then we can feel like we can transition to hear one or two of
no,
your
learning
travel
travel
stories.
entities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll decide like at that point whether or not we have enough, how much more energy we have left to successfully continue, or whether we want to do one or two or five, right? Because I think that the thing about this choice is that the '90s music thing. I feel like it's not stories, although we could include stories. It's not stories.
I'm sure. I
It's
feel like some stories might come up through it.
That's true, but it's not something that it has the chance to be a thing where we get to the bottom of it real fast. Or maybe
Yeah,
not. But between if it's just since it's just you and me talking about it, I think it's very likely. If I had a different person on debating me about it, that might not be true. But
yeah. I
I
mean,
would
this
love to start there because
could go horribly wrong too.
it could go well. I have horrible taste in music.